What is this that you are witnessing? What is this that I am creating? I am highlighting a fraction of a moment in time and trying to articulate to the best of my ability the thoughts and feelings that stand out the most in that moment. And sometimes it starts to feel like I'm only focusing on the negative. But in the focusing on the negative, I find truth that helps me course correct, change my ways, or change my perception so that I can move forward in a more aligned manner. For those who are new, this is my video journal. It's not intended to be advice or guidance, ever. Even in the ones where it seems like I absolutely am talking directly to you about how you should live your life. Even in the Take Action Tuesday videos where I'm giving you a challenge each week. It's like, take it or leave it. I'm really still talking to myself, and I did all those things that I've directly put forth as challenges, and they had a profound impact on my life. I did them quickly too. I do everything quickly. I have this sense that life is happening, whether you're present for it or not. Today will be spent whether you sleep through it or hustle through it, like whatever you choose to do. This day is being spent, this moment's being spent. Even by the end of this video, like, this time will be spent. I could have not done a video. I could have done something maybe more beneficial to my future. I could have done something more detrimental to my future. Like, the possibilities are endless. But I'm really, I guess, subscribed heavily to this idea at the moment that you can't manage time, and you can't create time, really. You can take the 24 hours in the day that you have and you can rearrange it in a way that it seems like you had 10 days instead of one because you achieved so much. But really, it's the same. Like, and there's got to be an upper limit to this. Like, how much can you possibly achieve in terms of meaningful impact in your lifetime? And how do you even measure it anyway? Like, this is absolutely absurd. But, you know, you could live a life where it seemed like you lived for 10,000 years if you were 100 times more efficient than the average person that we're used to seeing, assuming that their life expectancy is 100 years. My maths is a little bit off there. Or you could make it look like you lived 1,000 years. But, like, what is that desire to, you know, maximize your impact and, like, to get 1,000 years worth of things done in a lifetime? There's got to be a lot of unhealthy things to it, but I think one of the main reasons I'm so fascinated with doing so much is because I know how precious life is, or I feel how precious life is. I've just have this sense that when I die, I don't want to be disappointed. Like, I don't want to look back and think I stayed in bed when I could have done something exciting or invigorating or had some kind of impact. Like, I've just been acutely aware of that, and I know it's a bit cliche, and a lot of, you know, high achieving people talk about this, and I'm probably parroting a little bit, you know, like how parrots repeat shit that they hear, because I've been watching a lot of that kind of content in the form of podcasts. But I've also been reading books that are almost the polar opposite, where the philosophy is talking about the absurdity of maximizing efficiency. And, like, I even watched an interview recently where it was that Sad Guru fella and Ed Milet. So it was an interesting combination. So That's what attracted me to it. And Sadhguru was saying it's the pursuit of happiness that's actually the problem. It's the sickness. And what it needs to be replaced with is just the expression of the joy that you are. So, and the paradox of all that kind of stuff, you know, you hear it in so many different ways. You see it dressed up in so many different costumes. This idea that, like, as soon as you don't need anything, you will have everything. Like that new agey manifestation kind of story. But there's truth to it. There's definitely truth to, like, as I am focusing inward on myself and I'm working on myself to the highest degree that I ever have in this lifetime, I'm seeing an acceleration in what I'm attracting that is beneficial to me. Like, I'm seeing opportunities emerge. I'm seeing my income increase. I'm seeing relationships blossom. Like, and it's not because I'm trying to do it at all. It's just I take this time for myself to reflect and contemplate very deeply. I take the time to be with myself off camera a lot more than when I'm on camera, actually. And that's probably the on camera stuff, like these video journals, probably dramatically improve in quality the more time I'm spending with myself off camera, because there have been times, if you've been a long time viewer of this channel, where the only time that I'm spending with myself is when I've forced myself to sit down and do a journal, and I hate it and I have so much resistance and I don't want to be with myself. So that is my only meditation. That is my only time. So like I get through like 10 minutes of that and I'm like, that's it for the day. And you can see the turmoil and the chaos that comes with that. And you can see like the kinds of manifestations of issues and things. And it's just like so dramatically different when I create the time for myself. This has happened every single day now that I've come down here. Like one dude, like, and it's been all different dudes. Like this little section that I'm in is in the middle of nowhere, but it's like they see there's somebody over here and they just have to come and see what's up. And I don't know if this is like a place where people sell drugs or you know, a place where people hook up maybe, like, or like what the unspoken law of the land is here. But I always see people just come and check me out, and it's so interesting because I sort of found this place and I was like, this is brilliant, like I will never be disturbed here. And there hasn't been a single time that it hasn't happened. But yeah, that's besides the point. It's interesting though, because recently I said in a journal, like, I want to welcome the unexpected and the surprises and roll with it, and just, you know, keep the journal going and like just include it, like whatever it is. If I've recorded a lot of journals that never got published because like a frisbee's hit the camera and it's landed in the sand, or like any kind of unforeseen thing, and I've just gone, oh, that's the end of it, and taken that as a sign that it's got to be over. But now I'm not doing that anymore. I will continue. And I think those organic moments would be more interesting than anything. I have repeatedly said that I would love to be able to just include a total stranger out of the blue and flow with them and create something really spontaneous and authentic. And I would like to do that frequently. So I'm slowly growing into that. As I'm slowly growing into all of these things that I'm expressing, this is just like the tiniest fragment of my existence, and I've been overthinking it so much over the years that like this is my identity, like this is how people are going to see me. And I'm finally starting to let that go and really embody, like, this is just a fragment of a moment. It's so insignificant. And, you know, zooming out, like, another thing that Sadhguru said in that interview was like, we're like a pop-up on the internet. It's only there for 2 seconds and then it's gone, because they only paid for 2 seconds worth of advertising. Like, that's how fleeting it can be in the grand scheme of things. So there's like this healthy balance you've got to find between realizing your insignificance without like denying the impact of your personal power, like the potential impact. Like you could do so much, you could create so much, you could enjoy so much, you could share so much, but at the end of the day also balance that with realizing none of it really matters and it's okay. Like I think we can find peace in the fact that nothing matters on a really, on the long enough timeline, we can find peace that nothing matters. When we're struggling and when things aren't going our way, and we can find power in, you know, believing that this is significant when we want to achieve something. But it's like this extra step so that you're not just swinging the pendulum between everything matters and everything is so significant, and it's if it doesn't go the way that I want it to, I'm just going to die inside. Like having like this huge need for everything to be a certain way, and then the pendulum swinging the other way to total nihilism and meaninglessness and nothing. What's the point? Like you don't want to just be swinging between those. You kind of want to step back from the pendulum and see it, and really make peace from that perspective, where you see that you're capable of all of it. You're capable of total nihilistic thinking, and you're capable of, like, what is the polar opposite of nihilistic thinking? Like almost devotional, like fate, like everything is so significant, every moment, every step that you take is divine. And you know, that sounds more beautiful, but you know, that's the whole thing. They're both kind of not the complete picture, because it's both and, it's not either or. And that's like that whole non-duality thing. And you know, even the connotations around non-duality, because of the figures that have brought it forward into the mainstream awareness, like it's got this whole thing to it. Like all words, all language has something to it. Like there's certain things that I might say in these journals that could trigger off all kinds of reactions in people, and I see it. And it has nothing to do with my epistemology, my model of reality, my thoughts and beliefs and feelings that are always changing anyway. Like I'll be a different person tomorrow, and it'll be a different fragment of experience that I'm trying to articulate and focus on. It's a journey, and I love it. And I guess something that I would like to focus on is moving away from that pursuit of happiness and moving more into the embodiment of joy. Like just, yeah, this is awesome, look what we're doing, look what's available, look what we're capable of, and just like really, really starting to enjoy life more. And I don't know how that translates into the journal, because the journal's traditionally been a way for me to notice what's happening inside of me. But maybe I will notice beautiful things, and then I will sort of highlight those and bring more awareness to the beautiful things, just as I bring awareness to the things that are detrimental to me, so that I can make changes. I could also just fuel the fire of the beautiful things and share some stuff that is going totally great for me. But there's definitely a resistance that comes up immediately when I just said that. Like, I feel guilty still. I still feel like we are supposed to be this way. That's just the way that sentence came out. Heavily conditioned and programmed to feel like incomplete. And that's how it's supposed to be. That's what's coming through. Like, I wish that there were different words. But almost, because I'm also aware of like envy and, you know, this current social situation, especially with technology that we have now in social media, where everybody's always trying to one-up each other and look like they have this extraordinary life. And I don't like it. But I want to create a life that's truly extraordinary, not just extraordinary on the screen. If anything, what I do is I try to downplay it a bit and just like be a bit more chill, a bit more low key, a bit more modest. a lot of the time. And that's all of this is what's coming up when I'm thinking about expressing more joy and just talking about really positive, amazing things that are happening for me. Because can you imagine, like, after listening to me work through all of these problems, if I just started talking about how great my life was and how fantastic everything is, it wouldn't be aligned with the audience. But maybe I need to do that again. I do it all the time. I've totally broken the alignment with my audience on the video journals over and over again because I'm evolving and changing, and I have to. It's not an option for me to continue to deliver content that people think they want, because it's not me anymore. That character has ceased as a new character every single day, every single month, every single year. And hopefully, well, people come and go. It doesn't really matter, does it? These fragments, like, it's something that I've really got to let go of, the value of a fragment of my life in this way. Like, just let people make of it what they will, and totally disconnect from any reactions and feelings, because every single person is going to perceive it the way that, through their own lens, and they're going to have their own past experiences and epistemology, model of reality, that's going to inform their response. And if they're here, whether they hate it or they love it, if they're watching the content, if you're watching the content, I believe it's for some kind of reason. Like, you're having some kind of insights. Even if you hate every word that's coming out of my mouth, you're maybe having an experience that's just as valuable as somebody who loves every word that's coming out of my mouth. Maybe you're impartial to it and you're just observing me like a zoo animal in a cage, like so many people do, and just like, oh, this is interesting, this creature, as he's navigating his existence. He's so different to the others. Or maybe he's exactly like the others and just like happens to be available for viewing through your little screen in your hand there, or however you're experiencing this. Far out, soon it'll be like virtual, and you'll be watching me on a glass screen in your virtual house that you paid for with some kind of virtual crypto. The world's getting so crazy. Oh, I want to live outside of all of this. Enter Shikari, good music video, you should go watch that, have a little think. And if you get anything out of these videos, please let me know in the comments down below, and pass them on to anybody you know who may benefit. This is key. If we do not pass on the things that are valuable, then everything on social media that just gives you that dopamine hit, gives you that rush, gives you that thrill, and keeps you scrolling is going to dominate. If you want conscious content to spread, it's got to be done intentionally, unfortunately. And I don't care like how present and aware you are. This technological age is so powerful at diverting our attention. We need to make a conscious effort to put our attention where we want it to go. And part of the way to do that is to share around conscious content. Hopefully this is conscious content. Hopefully this is what it's intended to be. But like I said, people can perceive it however they want. Subscribe if you haven't already, because there's going to be so much more of this. And yeah, if you get bored of it, you can always unsubscribe, right? See yous when I'm looking at yous.